My name's Dave Hendricks. I'm the CEO of Vertalo. We're a future of work company, headquartered in Austin, Texas, and Vertalo is Cayman's company. I can't really tell you about the Vertalo offering and the fundraise that we're conducting because my lawyers say I actually can't tell you about anything that I'm doing. So I'll just tell you that they told me I can't say that. But I'd like to tell you a couple stories and tell you a little bit about Vertalo today. And because you don't know me, I won't be surprised if you don't trust what I tell you, because we've never met and we've never worked together. So you've got no basis for believing anything I tell you. About 500 years ago, a young man from Italy was seeking a commission with the Duke of Florence. He touted his experience as a civil engineer and a bridge builder with a knowledge of weapons design. He produced a one-page document and he sent it to the Duke seeking this commission. At the very bottom of this document, it also listed his accomplishments as a painter and a sculptor. That man was Leonardo da Vinci. He had never actually built a bridge or designed any weapons, but he had a lot of notebooks, and he was an aspiring engineer. Today we know him as a genius, but back then, would you have trusted him? Today we have the same problem. You're all trying to hire the best people, and every day you're using a 500-year-old tool in order to do so. It's called a resume. It was called a curriculum vitae back in 1482 when Leonardo was potentially the first creator of this document. Our reliance on this old tool, the resume, has led to three main problems. First of all, our entire history is down to something that we call user-generated content. Stuff that we write about ourselves. It's very subjective. That's a big problem. The other problem with this is that it's not trustworthy, okay? Because we all know that our resumes are subjective representations of our experience. When we look at other resumes, we understand them to be the same thing. They're interpretations of self on paper. So they're not very trustworthy. And as a result, when we're looking for the best people, we look at resumes and we don't know whether those things represent what people actually did because we just know what resumes are. They're UGC. So this makes us revert to trust in our tribes. Trust in the people that we know to find us people that we can work with. And in today's world of work, this is not the way to hire. It's not the way to build a company. Let me tell you a little story. My inspiration for Vertalo came out of my experience recruiting people for Oracle Corporation. At Oracle, I was tasked with hiring people from all over the world to put on projects to implement Oracle financials and Oracle database applications. I would see and scan dozens of resumes a day. Eventually, I started seeing the same resume over and over again. It was slightly different, but it was a perfect resume to get a job doing Oracle financials or Oracle database development work. And the funny thing is, every time I saw the resume, it had a different name on the top of it. But it was essentially the same resume. So what happened was, I fell back into having to trust the recruiter. I said, is this the person? Does this person actually do this? Because this resume just looks too good. And what it did is, instead of being able to look at a global source of talent, I was actually set with going to a really local source of talent, and I had to go and ask people and trust them that they've done the background work. Because I couldn't do the background work. I couldn't call the university in India or Korea. I couldn't check on those companies, so I got left to trusting my tribe. And that left me unable to take risks to hire people that could be objectively qualified. This problem is, in the future of work, is only going to get worse. We're all hunting for that amazing Solidity developer, or Angular, or React, or a great finance person. We want them to have the experience that we need to propel our companies further. We don't know those people in our own networks. They don't exist. So we have to go outside of our networks. But in a world where you can't trust resumes, how are you supposed to build a global company? Vertalo was faced with this problem from the beginning. We needed to build a great company and we couldn't work on resumes. So we decided to work to develop a product that would give us the ability to look at our whole enterprise and be able to classify and qualify and certify people that we would want to work with. Because if we hire the wrong person for Vertalo or for Series X, our parent company, that could cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars. It could cost us the company. It's so important to hire the right person. So in this world where you've got social networks with people presenting themselves as doing one thing but not having the skills, how do you find the right people to propel you and your business forward? That's Vertalo. Well, that's not Vertalo, but that's Vertalo. Vertalo is a platform that helps people prove themselves. We use a 3 simple step process. First, people commit their professional history to the platform. The system verifies the people's experience through 2-sided certifications. The 2-sided certification is organization and individual, agreement, attestation, and then commitment to the blockchain. But unlike existing business social networks, we use KYC and AML techniques to make sure that all the actors are who they say they are. And then because we tokenize, we reduce noise. What we end up doing is we end up solving a lot of the problems that employers have. First of all, doubt. If you've got objectively certified experience from an organization that you objectively understand, say someone is a Solidity developer that worked at Polymath. They worked on developing the smart contract security token technology. You know the company, now you've met the person, they've both agreed on that experience. That can eliminate doubt about that person's experience. The certification process is meant to reduce fraud, reduce exaggeration, and increase certainty. We do that using consensus elements. The consensus elements are fueled by a smart contract. The smart contract encourages virtuous behavior and reduces log rolling. You know, in some networks, you can endorse someone for doing something that you've never seen them do. In some networks, you can be somebody that you aren't. You can join a company and be the head of that company. Our system makes sure that anyone you're looking at has actually been certified for working for that company or graduating from that university. Once this verification, this certification has happened, it gets committed to the blockchain and it's findable and searchable. And you don't have to go through and do this over and over again. Why is this good? Because when you're trying to prove yourself to get a job and you're talking to 20 companies, you don't want 20 background checks being done. You want to be able to prove yourself once certifiably. We call this certification a stint. A stint is a container. It's a container of information, time-bound, about an accomplishment, some employment, or other achievement. If you take a look at a resume today, a resume goes top to bottom, like it's a sedimentary layer. We don't see human experience being that way. We see it as a series of different events across different disciplines that define you. And so we tilt it on its side, and we take a look at your whole graph. And that graph is represented in stints, and it's shareable. They're rooted in legal agreements, smart contracts. We use the rules inherent in smart contracts to enforce and notarize and memorialize these engagements so you own them forever. What Vertalo does is it takes something which every one of us has, experience and accomplishment, and it gives you ownership of it, ownership that other people can trust. And that helps you get hired. It helps you prove yourself. We're building on top of Ethereum. This is an ERC20 token. We're also working with Polymath, and we're issuing a security token. We can talk about that at some other time. Tokenization modernizes this process by eliminating noise and increasing truth, and also increasing the long tail legitimacy of your record, and gives you the ability to share it. We have a reward system via tokens that rewards great action. And what we do is we enshrine those relationships that make you who you are and allow you to access opportunities that you might not be able to access if you can't prove yourself. Imagine you're that person who just graduated from the top IIT university in India. People in America don't know about it. They don't know that you went there. It's so hard to get in. You've got to prove that. It's such an accomplishment. Make yourself stand out. Give yourself the opportunity to prove yourself. That's what Vertalo does. So our mission is to help job seekers access opportunities through a provable employment and academic graph. We help employers and companies find the best people by reducing doubt and reducing their reliance on hiring through tribes. If you're interested in learning more, we've just launched our website. I've got a team of 50 people. They're all around the world. We've worked for the last almost 2 years building something out that's really, really cool. And we've got a partner here, I'm not sure if they're in the audience, called Benepay. We have launch partners in HR tech who are ready to deploy our platform. We're going to be a ground layer of truth on the blockchain for employment, academic, and other accomplishment history. I expect all of you to be Vertalans in the next year. And so look out for more information about our launch, and we're doing some things with tokens. We're doing some things with tokens, which are software licenses. Okay? Actually, some really innovative things with tokens, which are software licenses. And I hope that you come by and see us. We're hosting folks over the next couple of days. My team is here. Thank you so much for your time. We launched today, Vertalo.com. And I appreciate your time. Oh, by the way, we're hosting a delightful lunch. I hope it's not gluten-free. And it's going to be out right outside of here. So I appreciate you hanging around and learning more about Vertalo. Thank you.